So Casio only announced this MRW-230H a few weeks ago. They became available for sale this past weekend, retailing for £40 on the Casio website. These sold out within a couple of days, but are now back in stock, at least at the time of filming this. There's 3 variants currently for sale, all with the same dial but with different bezel inserts. This blue and red one, obviously, Pepsi colourway, one with a black bezel and then one with a green bezel. This is essentially an MRW-200H, just with a new bezel. This new model having a resin bezel with an aluminium insert versus the 200H, which has a one-piece resin bezel. There's dozens of different variants of this MRW-200H model, various different dials and colourways, so I imagine there'll be more versions of this 230H released in the future as well. Obviously, I'm sure most people are familiar with the 200H. Excellent budget analog watch from Casio. 100 meters of water resistance, push-pull crown, bi-directional bezel. This 200H on the right is probably the most common variation, obviously featuring numerals on the dial, versus the new 230H, which has a much plainer dial, obviously no numerals. Dial very similar in fact to the Casio Duro. This dial, or at least one very similar, does feature in a model of the 200H. The only difference being the new water resistant logo on this model. I do like both dials, not sure which I prefer, but I'm not sure if this new bezel is compatible with the old 200H, but I would bet that it is possible to switch it over. I imagine this bezel insert can probably be fairly easily changed as well. Not sure if there's any aftermarket options that will fit, but gives potential for mods further down the line. I imagine the dials are interchangeable as well, so you could switch dials between versions as well as potential bezel swaps. The strap is the same as before, Casio branded buckle. Fairly cheap feeling strap, but plenty comfortable. I don't have any issues with it personally. Not sure about longevity wise, but same bezel function as before, bi-directional friction fit. I actually really like the two-way bezels, super convenient for cooking, etc., timing things that aren't crucial. No one really uses these for diving anyway, obviously it's just a dive style watch, but same style hands as before, same day-date function, very similar case backs, same movement, 5125, 10 bar water resistance. The bezel design is slightly different on the new version. Obviously, see on the old 200H, it's completely smooth, so there's a couple of notches, whereas on the 230H, it basically has knurling on the outside. Dimensions are the same as before, other than the thickness. 43mm in diameter, 47mm lug to lug, but this new 230H is 12.3mm thick versus 11.6mm for the 200H. This is obviously to do with the new bezel. You see it's visibly thicker. 80mm lugs, same as before. New version is slightly heavier, 40 grams versus around 37, 38, so not a massive difference. There's no information on the website as to what the crystal's made from. The 200H is a resin crystal, so I imagine this is the same. The lume is the same as before, not very bright and then fades pretty quickly. It's probably the biggest drawback of this watch, to be honest. But it is a cheap watch at the end of the day, so you can't really complain. Same push-pull crown as before. Obviously 100 meters of water resistance, same as the old version. Not quite sure about the new logo. It seems a little redundant having WR on the dial twice. The old one, obviously, said water resist 100 meters. I don't hate it, I just think it seems a bit weird. I think the retail price is a little steep at £40. Obviously, once they're available in more retailers, I'm sure the price will come down. The 200H retails for £33, I believe, but obviously you can pick it up for around half that. I imagine it'll be the same for this new model eventually. I paid £32 for this with a 20% discount, which I think is more round about the price that people should be paying. To be honest, I really like this new version. I think it's got much more of a premium feel over the old one. Don't get me wrong, I really like the 200H, but the bezel definitely brings it up a notch. I imagine Casio are going to continue making the 200H, but I look forward to seeing what variations of the new 230 come in the future. Just some on the wrist shots. Really like it, to be honest. Same strap as before. Very comfortable, very lightweight. Really like the new bezel, much more of a premium look. Definitely one I'd recommend. Obviously, you can't really go wrong with the old 200H. Super reliable and rugged, accurate, cheap. Not much more you can really ask for, but if you're looking for something a little fancier, the 230H is probably definitely the move. I thought I'd just quickly show it in some natural lighting. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below. And yeah, thank you for watching.